Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice. If you have an African-American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. Hey everyone, I hope you had a really, really good weekend. And I pray that you have an even better week. All right? So I want to get into this video. It is how to beat white supremacy. Yes, this video is going to show us how regular people can unite, put their resources together, contact the right people, listen to the right advice, and beat white supremacy. So I'm excited to bring you this story about a small county. I believe it's a small county in Tennessee. Fayette County, I think you pronounce it that way, Fayette County. We have a Fayetteville in North Carolina, but this doesn't have the Ville part. It's just Fayette, Tennessee, Fayette County, Tennessee. And they were dealing with white supremacy in that county. Obviously, Tennessee, the state that brought us the KKK. So, yeah, they were dealing with white supremacy, but they stood up against it. They fought back, and they won. Hey, family, do you believe in the work we're doing? Does our content speak to you? Do you appreciate our in-depth legal analysis and political commentary from an African-American perspective? Do you believe it matters to our community? Then don't just watch from the sidelines. Please click that membership button and become a member of the 2% Club today. That's right, we need just 2% of our subscribers to become channel members. For just $4.99 a month, that's less than 20 cents a day, you'll help us keep creating powerful content that defends our democracy, demands justice, and develops a strong African-American community. But if you want more, at $9.99 a month, which is only 33 cents a day, you'll get access to exclusive members-only live streams, bonus content, and behind-the-scenes updates. And for just $14.99 a month, which is under 50 cents a day, our top-tier members get access to live Zone calls, strategy sessions, and a direct voice in shaping this movement. We're not just building a YouTube channel. Folks, we're building a movement based on righteousness and justice, just what our community needs in a time of disinformation and division. So if you believe in what we're doing, click the membership button and join now. Become a member of the 2% Club today. Let's build something powerful together. So let's get into this story. First, I want you to watch a little video here, and they will explain what they were up against and how they actually were able to defeat white supremacy. Let's go to another screen.
In 2021, Fayette County passed a racially discriminatory electoral map that harmed Black voters. We were so glad to partner with civil rights groups like the NAACP and legal defense funds to sue the county to right this wrong. And we won.
Voting maps that dilute the power of the Black voters violate both the 14th and 15th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution and Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. In Fayette County, Tennessee, Black voters make up more than a quarter of the population. Yet the discriminatory map provided no electoral opportunities for Black voters, which led to an all-white county commission that was unresponsive to the needs of Black community members.
We sued, and a new map was passed, increasing the number of majority Black districts from 0 to 3.
The new map will finally provide Black Fayette voters the opportunity to elect candidates of their choice.
Our ability to vote affects our everyday lives in Fayette County, from social services and infrastructure to economic opportunities and public health.
This victory happened because of the courage of Black voters who live in Fayette County. Equal representation is the law. Because of this map, Black political power in Fayette County is protected.
That's what I'm talking about. There are about 4 takeaways that I want us to get from this video of what we just watched. Wasn't that a wonderful video? And doesn't that encourage you to see that, again, we shouldn't allow anyone to take away our agency. We shouldn't allow anyone to talk us or intimidate us and take away our agency. We got to fight, okay? And when we do, we win. And I'm just excited for this small county. I think it's small. It may be bigger than I'm thinking, but it looks like a small community, the type of community that I came from, all right? And I'm just so glad that they stood up and they showed us exactly how to beat white supremacy. All right, so what is the first takeaway here? The first takeaway is elections have consequences. Elections have consequences. Elections have consequences. And did I say that elections have consequences? Well, they really do. If you don't vote, you allow other people to determine your life. You allow other folks to make decisions about your life, the type of life you're going to live, the services that you're going to receive or not receive, the treatment that you're going to receive or not receive. You're allowing somebody else to make those determinations for you. Isn't it better when we make those determinations for ourselves? So why then would we ever vote the couch or vote for someone that we know will make decisions and determinations that will negatively affect us? Why would we ever sit on the couch and give our agency, our power away like that, folks? If you just think about it, it makes no sense. Bottom line, 2.2 or 3 million blacks should have never voted for Trump. We're now paying a heavy price for it. And millions of other blacks should have never voted the couch. And that is what happened. Over 2 million blacks voted for Trump. And you see what he's doing to us. And then millions of other blacks didn't vote. And the pro-black imposters are telling you to not vote again. You must reject them. You got to talk to your sons. You got to talk to your daughters, your grandsons, your nephews, those young men who are listening to this garbage about not voting until I get my reparations or to make the Democrats suffer. That is total garbage. That is fish juice. And I'm not talking about that comes from a good fried fish. No, I'm talking about that fish slime is what that is. No, elections have consequences. And we got to be in the game to win the game. Now, let me be specific here. When Joe Biden was elected in 2020, he appointed Kristen Clark to head the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division. And she played a part in these people getting victory. Trump won, and he put over the Civil Rights Division a woman who is antagonistic to voting rights for African Americans. You see, that's just one of many consequences of voting the couch or voting for Trump. You see, it just doesn't make any sense. So elections have consequences from the national perspective all the way to the local. This here was a county election, a county situation, but it affected their everyday lives. We got to be engaged nationally, statewide, and locally. And sometimes those local elections will impact you more imminently and more immediately, oftentimes, than the national elections. So we got to be involved in all levels of politics. We got to make our voices heard and known and felt. All right, so number one, elections have consequences. Don't forget that. Elections have consequences. Number two, you have to, or we have to, fight these people. And part of that fight is voting. Part of that fight is being engaged. Part of that fight is speaking up. Part of that fight is protesting. Part of that fight is getting in the streets. Part of that fight is boycotting. All of those things are ways that we have to fight, but make no mistake about it, we must fight. We cannot sit back and let them do anything that they want to do to us. No, we can't do that. We got to stand up to white supremacy. Our ancestors died for us to have agency and power to fight back. We got to use it. We got to use it. All right, so number two, we have to fight these people. No matter the consequence, no matter what it may cost us to fight, we must fight. And for those of you who are up in age, who are not spring chickens anymore, you got grandchildren. You got great nieces, great nephews. You got the next generation coming behind you. And that fight, in many ways, is more important now than the fight for yourself, fighting for this next generation behind us. All right? So we got to fight. Number three, these folks' victory proves why we must defeat Clarence Thomas's effort to kill Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Because that's how they got this victory. They got this victory because under Section 2, had the Legal Defense Fund gone through with their lawsuit, they ended up dropping their lawsuit. Had they gone through with it, they likely would have won because under Section 2, they would have likely been able to prove that they deserved those 3 majority black voting districts in that county. Without Section 2, they would not been able to win that case because Thomas would have convinced these people on the court with him. He would have been able to convince them possibly, we don't know yet, that fight is coming up. But had he been able to convince them of what he wanted to convince them of, they would say, well, we can't do this. We can't give you 3 extra districts, although you deserve them, because it violates the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause. So we can't use the Equal Protection Clause to give teeth to the Voting Rights Act, is what Thomas want them to conclude. Folks, that's crazy. And that's why Save Section 2 is important. Remember the hashtag? Save Section 2. Hashtag Save Section 2. Use that on all your social media. Put that everywhere. Put that in your emails. Put it everywhere. So that when folks when they click on it, it will bring up one of the videos that I've done on this topic, and we can hopefully get awareness out. We don't have a lot of time to do this. The court is going to be rehearing this case and re-arguing. They're going to be re-arguing this case the end of this year. So we don't have a lot of time to make the country aware of our strong dissent and disagreement with what Thomas wants to do. We're not going to let Thomas do these things, and oftentimes we don't even know that he's doing them. I know he's doing them, and other civil rights attorneys know that he's doing them because we read the cases, we practice in this area. But this time, I want you to know what he's doing and not find out about it after it's already done. I want you to know up front what he's doing, and I want him to know that you know and that you stand strongly against what he's doing. And then last of all, this further proves that civil rights organizations like the NAACP, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, the Urban League, the National Urban League, the National Action Network, Rainbow Push, and these other organizations, civil rights organizations, including ours, the Lazarus Law and Justice Project, are needed. They are still needed. Who would have litigated this case had it not been for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, who's been doing this for decades, literally decades? So shout out to them. And as I've told you in the past, that what we need to be doing is supporting these organizations, not trying to cut them off. They are still very, 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 very important. All right, now here's a press release that the NAACP Legal Defense Fund put out after this, and here's what it says. Today, let me read it here. Today, after succeeding in convincing county lawmakers to pass a new map that provides fair representation to black voters, the Legal Defense Fund, LDF, declared victory and voluntarily dismissed its lawsuit challenging the illegal and unconstitutional 2021 map of the Fayette County, Tennessee Board of County Commissioners. LDF represented NAACP Fayette Somerville branch, Christine Woods, Thomas Gilmore, Valisa Philpatrick, Willie Lewing, and Miranda Wilkerson in the now dismissed case. This is just so beautiful. In the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, this was not a high-profile, big old, big-time case. This was a county situation. Yet they got in there and took on this case. And I promise you that these people did not have to pay the Legal Defense Fund to go and win this victory for them, because the Legal Defense Fund depends on our donations. So what am I saying? Go and give to these organizations that are out here fighting on our behalf. Let's read one more paragraph here. Although black voters make up more than a quarter of Fayette County's voting age population, in 2021, the county commission drew a map that locked black voters out of the electoral process. That's white supremacy. It wasn't on the national level. It was on the local county level, but it's still white supremacy. And it gave white people in that county total control to determine everything, as if we are just children who will be okay with anything that they decide. Folks, we can't let them do that. All right? This goes on to say, under that previous electoral map, the history of racial discrimination and racially polarized voting in Fayette County resulted in an election system where none of the current 19 commissioners are black people, and none of the 10 electoral districts provided opportunities for black voters to elect candidates of their choice. This is why we must defeat Clarence Thomas's effort to do away with Section 2. Because this county would not have buckled from these lawsuits had Section 2 not been in place. There was a case from Alabama a few years ago, I think it's Allen v. Milligan, where the Supreme Court upheld another black majority voting district in Alabama, and currently the one that Thomas is waiting to get his hands on. That fight also resulted in blacks receiving another black majority voting district in Louisiana. Okay? But they're trying to take that back from them. And if Thomas gets his way, they will get rid of they will destroy that new black majority voting district, and they will gut Section 2. We can't let that happen, folks. We got to do exactly what these people did. We got to fight back. We got to fight back. We got to fight back. We got to fight back tooth and nail. We got to fight like we're strapping in the streets. Okay? So remember the takeaways here, right? I said 4, I'll add 5. Number 1, don't let these folks or any pro-black imposter take away our agency, our capacity and ability to fight by not voting or voting against our best interests. Which brings me to the second thing. Elections have consequences. If we don't vote, we're going to pay the price. We're going to pay the price. Number 3, we got to fight these people. We can't just sit back and let them do what they want to do to us like we're children. Number 4, this case proves why we must defeat Thomas's efforts to kill Section 2. And number 5, the old civil rights organizations that have been around for a long time are still extremely useful. Extremely. White supremacy have their Heritage Foundation. We have our NAACP. We have our Urban League. And we need those organizations. We still need those organizations. And that's a part of our agency of fighting. So we're not going to listen to anybody say we need to turn our backs on these organizations. Are you with me? So I am just elated for these folks. I come from a small area. I remember the county commissioners in my home state of North Carolina. We had a black representative there at least 30, 40 years back, but we probably should have had more than one. And he was a great man. Shout out to Commissioner Powell. Commissioner Powell, he was one of the principals and an outstanding man, and his children also became great people, and he was a leader in our community. Commissioner Powell, County Commissioner Powell, thank you for your service. He's passed on now, but thank you for your service, and a shout out to your family. So folks, I wanted to bring you this story. This is some good news, and this shows us exactly how to beat white supremacy. So despite all this stuff we see Trump doing, we still can beat white supremacy if we stand. All right, I am Reverend and Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you for watching this video, and stay woke.